I'm Scott, and this is episode 10 of What Makes This Map Great. In this series, we take a deep dive into some classic games that hold a special place in my gaming heart. We're going to explore their amazing level design, beautiful art, creative combat encounters, as well as uncover their hidden secrets and see just how much they've influenced the gaming world. And in this episode, we're covering Quake E2M3. The Crypt of Decay. All sources used for this video will be linked down in the description below. Like, sub, do all the YouTube stuff. It's greatly appreciated. Let's get into it. The Crypt of Decay is the third level of episode 2, the realm of black magic for Quake. And we are once again treated to another creation from the icon of sin himself, John Romero. This map is a dark castle with many features. You have a large central tower with a series of water channels all around it. It's a mix of hallways and large open spaces that are layered in a clever way and just oozes with medieval vibes. And that large multi-layered tower in the middle, well, you're going to revisit it several times throughout the map as you explore all the haunted halls of this nasty place. A creative design to get the player to revisit prior areas of the map. We've got zombies, ogres, fiends, shamblers, and we also get introduced to a couple of new enemy types in this map, and one of them can be a pain to deal with. The combat encounters definitely get dialed up a little more in this map as well. And of course, we've got traps. We also have a couple of important secrets to discover in this map. One of them is a recurring Easter egg that has gone on in id games since Quake and in many other games outside of id Software. And the other secret being the exit to the secret level of this episode. To give some context to the player experience up to this point in Quake, it all started at the Slipgate Complex, a military base that is home to a machine capable of dimensional travel known as the Slipgate. But an evil entity codenamed Quake sends its own forces through from the other side, defeating and turning all soldiers into mindless grunts. Ranger, the lone marine played by you, fights their way through with the mission to defeat this evil force and put an end to Quake. You step through the Slipgate and enter the Dimension of the Doomed, a realm that is home to old haunted castles and dark underground caverns, with monsters beyond our understanding. After conquering every obstacle, Ranger defeats Cthon, the realm's guardian, and obtains the Rune of Earth Magic. He discovers that a rune of magical power awaits him at the conclusion of each of Quake's haunted lands. Ranger continues on to the realm of black magic, which is where our journey takes place. Let's not waste any more time, let's dive right in. We start in a cave, surrounded by rock walls that look ancient. The purple sky can be seen above. Yeah, we're still in the realm of black magic. A stone walkway leads to a set of stairs into a torchlit room, warm and inviting considering where we are. The cave here looks carved out. Makes me think this is some kind of dungeon. Going up the stairs, we are given a nail gun, some ammo, and health. In case if you were hurting from the end of the last map. If you know, you know. An elevator platform waits for us to step onto it, which we do. Ascending, we are immediately introduced to a new enemy type, the Death Knight. This tin can is like the knight we've encountered before, except he's a bigger tin can with more health, armor, moves quickly, and also has a ranged fire spell that is hard to dodge. His sword also hurts. I like to lob a couple grenades and use the double barrel. Nails are pretty effective too, especially if you have the super nail gun, which at this time we don't, but this level will give us one later. While this doesn't count as a secret, it's worth pointing out. Once you go down these steps, you'll hear the sound of a door triggering open behind and to the left. Drop back down the elevator shaft, and you'll notice a non-secret room is now accessible with nailgun ammo. We go back up the elevator shaft. As you look up, you may notice this cool rafter setup in this room with neat A-shaped supports along the sides of this elevator room. Once you deal with the Death Knight on this bridge, we can admire this open space. Fire braziers light up the walkway, which is held up by metal barriers. The tall walls made of old bricks have two open portals on either side, revealing a metal rusted interior to this dark medieval setting. And below is some blue water, oddly clean for such an eerie place. We've got three choices here. Let's go right. Another Death Knight waits around the corner to ambush us. If the first encounter was at a safe distance, this one isn't. Just backtrack as you shoot nails into this one. We continue on through this turning hallway, and the medieval vibes are really starting to shine with this map's metal and wood trims with brick and stone structuring. We see a window to the left, showing us a peek of where we are headed to. In this next long hallway, an ogre patrols guarding the way. With plenty of space here, it should be a fairly easy encounter to manage. At the end of this hall, we are presented with the central part of this map. A giant tower-like structure stands at the center of this large open courtyard. I call it a courtyard because if we take a quick dive underwater, there are constructed walls forming natural pathways. There's even a pathway leading to a whole other open courtyard. My imagination leads me to believe this used to be an outdoor graveyard of sorts that is now flooded. While we're down here in the water, allow me to introduce to you another new enemy type known as the rotfish. The rotfish is really a trash mob. Its nibbling bite only does 3 to 6 damage, and it's really low on health. Moves slow, so really they just kind of get in your way. Best way to take them out is just blast them with your shotguns. Anyhow, looking around, you can see multiple areas that we will eventually get a chance to explore. But for now, it looks like we've upset a lone zombie, as well as an ogre off in the distance up high. Pressing this button on the wall, a bridge extends, providing access to the lower part of this tower. Wait long enough, and a door opens behind us, unleashing a group of zombies from within the walls. They go up in gibs with one well-placed nade, and we also get yellow armor. Cross the bridge, make sure to nade the zombie up ahead, and we find ourselves another button. There's also another window port, giving us a peek at an angry Death Knight, which sends fireballs in our direction. Pressing the button opens a door on the other side of this window. Time to backtrack. Another call out to this structured hallway. Metal rafters overhead layered over a sloping ceiling makes for some interesting architecture. The shadows casted by the torches makes this feel like a cold, dark castle. We make our way back to the starting bridge and proceed through the left entryway, where we not only encounter that angry Death Knight we saw through the window, with the door now open, it has backup. An ogre stands by, including a second patrolling ogre down the hall. We first dance with the Death Knight, going back and forth to juke its melee attacks and avoid its fireballs. Turn the corner and 2 ogres decide they want to dance as well. Dodge those grenades and take them down. This next area is one of my favorite design spaces in this map. The upward sloping bridge here is clever to initially hide the view you get once you walk to the top of it. The bridge goes over the flooded courtyard I showed off earlier. The right side is all enclosed, but gives a great sense of a massive metal support structure holding up these stone brick walls. The left side visually contrasts the right, offering a view of the purple sky and overlooking a large flooded courtyard below. Off in the corner, a hint of a secret with zombies, which we'll get to later. But you normally don't have much time to admire this view. A fiend patrols the opposite walkway from the bridge. The bridge also offers a potential combat outcome that could work for you or the fiend. Should the fiend jump before the bridge, the slope tends to shorten its jump attack. But if the fiend makes it to the top part of the bridge, it gets some extra height with its jump attack. Makes for a sometimes random fight encounter with it. Ahead, we are given two path options. If we go left, we encounter a gold key door that is locked. So, we must go right. We turn the corner to encounter another button on the wall. And to the left, we see we've returned to that central courtyard with the giant tower in the middle. Press the button, and two bridges extend to the central tower, providing a path forward. The ogre on the upper left platform can really be a pest here. If you stand still too long, it has a good chance of landing a grenade on your head. This is probably a good time to deal with it. Dodge its nades and use the single barrel shotgun to get some more accurate pelt shots from this distance. Cross the bridge towards the tower. You should recognize the prior two bridgeways from earlier. Some clever layering and reuse of this space. Won't be the last time we see it. We continue on and go left. Pick up the shells. And this hall should give you some pause. It's hard to miss, but you should notice spikes coming out of this metal framing here. It's a trap, and if you're just zooming along, you might just miss it and take some massive damage. It's meant to slow you down. Carefully approach it and you'll trigger the trap, which once it retracts, should provide a small window to safely cross through. And speaking of traps, this next one looks super obvious. We have the gold key, but surrounding the gold key are ominous demon reliefs on the walls. Romero loves those monster closet setups, though I think he kind of gives you a hint. Since you automatically swap weapons upon picking them up, grabbing the grenade launcher here immediately sets you up with the weapon in hand. Once you grab the key, immediately backtrack and just unload on some well-placed nades on these ambushing death knights. The splash damage from the grenade might trigger a secret here. If not, notice the alcove to the right is the only one with a torch. This wall is a secret door. Hit it with your axe, and you'll be provided a mega health. This secret also hides another secret. Dive into the water, and you'll find a barrier blocks the way. The portal lies beyond. It's the secret level exit. We'll come back here later on. Okay, with the gold key in hand, let's backtrack. Carefully through the spike trap. To the tower, make a right, and we make another right. But before we open this gold door, we've got another secret here. Hope you have some grenades. Huck a nade at the zombies across the way, and a door will open to your right. You now have access to the rockets where the zombies were. And we have one more secret here. Dive into the water below, kill the rotfish in the area, and you should see a small entryway to the left as you swim underneath the bridge. You'll be treated to some red armor, step through the portal, and you're back at the start of the bridge above. Okay, now we're ready for the gold door. It's a good thing we're healthy and armored up. Prep that nail gun. As we open the door, a shambler screams in protest and begins attacking you. This creature from the unknown is massive, and placing it at the top of this staircase just empowers its imposing presence. It even makes this doorway seem small. It charges down towards you, attempting to tear you apart with its giant claws. Pump those nails. The best strategy is to close in and back away as it makes a clawing attack. Don't create too much distance, otherwise it'll shoot a lightning bolt at you. With the shambler down, it appears it was guarding a special weapon. The super nail gun. You'll never use the standard nail gun again now that you have this tool of destruction. And Romero knows. He gives us more nail ammo so we can test it out on the following enemy encounters. By the way, I found a bug here. These torch effects are floating. Unless maybe it's black magic? Anyways, grab the super nail gun, proceed up the stairs, and drive those nails into the Death Knight. This gun fires 2 nails at a time. Double the ammo consumption, but double the damage. Hell yeah. Below is another Death Knight with an ogre. I recommend saving your nails from here on out. Let them infight and finish off the survivor. I want to take a moment to point out how different this space appears compared to the rest of this castle. We have this azure blue texture set consisting of brick, stone, and metal. A skull trim goes along the top edge of the walls. Maybe this room is out of place due to black magic in this area. Anyways, let's continue forward, but carefully. Once we go up this elevator lift, it is a spike trap nightmare. The chain of events from here get pretty intense. Hope you saved your game recently. You'll need to navigate in between each of these spike shooters. You can time out your movement to the visuals of the spikes as they hit the wall, as well as with the rhythmic sound of them being shot. And to make matters worse, once you turn the corner, there's another set of them. Just hug the left wall. Up ahead, you'll find a button. We press it, and a bridge extends. And look, we're back in that central courtyard again with the tower. This time, we're on the upper level of the map. But no time to admire the view. Down across the bridge we just extended are Death Knights, and even more enemies just waiting to ambush us. We can use our super nail gun on them, but I have a better idea. To the sides of this bridge are 2 ledges. The one to the right has a quad damage power-up. A tactical jump across, and it's ours. Now, let's use that super nail gun. Charge in, use aggression, and if you run out of ammo for the super nail gun, use the double barrel. Death Knights, ogres, and even a shambler are no match for you. After that quad rampage, this T intersection shows us the exit to the right, but to the left is another hallway with a secret. Proceed down, and there's an unusual stack of what looks like crates. Above is a red button. Shoot it. A stepping block raises up, giving us access to a hidden secret. Here, we find a mega health, nails, and another button. The underwater barrier is lowered. We now have access to the secret level exit. Backtracking time. But there is one more secret. It's an unofficial secret, and if you hit tab, you can see that we currently have 4 out of 4 secrets. So, to get there, We cross the bridge again and make a leap to where we picked up the quad. Along the wall here, you'll see a narrow ledge. Carefully walk against the wall on this ledge and follow it. You'll find an entryway. It welcomes you with health pickups, and at the end of the hall is a drop into water. We drop in and we get the message, welcome to the Well of Wishes. For first timers, this is kind of a what the fuck moment, to be honest. We swim down and we see a silly looking green fish with a message, Dopefish lives. This is an ongoing gag among id Software. More on that in the trivia section later in this video. May as well grab the pentagram in the biosuit so we don't drown, and admire the Dopefish one more time. Proceed forward to the end of this underwater space, and a wall will open showing the way out. We are now back at the Mega Health Secret by the Gold Key, and to our right, the barrier is now lowered, giving us access to the secret level exit. We emerge from the water and find ourselves in front of a large portal. Runic inscriptions engrave its base. We lack the knowledge to understand it, but we can assume it will take us to another unpleasant place. Score screen here, showing off the central area of this map with this giant tower. Just a really neat design space, showing all of the different pathways that you took to get to the top. Upon clicking through, we find ourselves in the secret level of episode 2 called the Under Earth. Another great map which we'll cover in a future video. So here's the part where I go over some quick trivia about our featured map. This map was referred to as JR Med 2 during development. It may have been the second map that John Romero worked on while developing Quake. In the N64 version of this map, all of the rot fish in the water are replaced with zombies. There's also a fiend that is replaced with a death knight. Not sure where in the map this is done though. And then the textures for the Dopefish were removed from the Well of Wishes. I'm gonna assume that was probably done to save on memory space for the platform. You can only fit so much on a cartridge. Romero has a treasured collection of game development materials that he shares via his blog site, rome.ro. He's shared an original paper map sketch that shows his early design work on this map. I'll show it here on screen, but go check out his blog for more of this kind of stuff. He has shared it in interviews that it was hard to work with the Quake editor, and making mistakes would lead to hours of lost work. So it was always useful to paper map his design ideas and have a plan before diving into the 3D creation portion of the map. If you take a close look at his paper map, you may notice there's a room featuring a pentagram with some notes written for it, which isn't in the final game. Well, this map apparently had a story element that would help push the story plot of Quake. And to quote it, I'll read it from the paper map here. This medieval area has an old one, Shantak, imprisoned in a strange matrix, textured to look like time and space, black with moving stars or animating. Shantak is being used to power the immense energy field that guards the ICBM launch site. In a hidden room are 5 heads, each impaled on a microcomputer base, situated at each point of a glowing pentagram. In the center of the pentagram spinning in the air is a launch key. Touching the launch key with any head still alive will blast the player back and inflict some minor damage. The only way to kill a head is to blast the computer that receives the head's power drain from Shantak. When all the heads are killed, the launch key is available. Would have been pretty cool if the team had more time to implement more of these story plot hooks in Quake, or even more major boss fight encounters like Chthon in Episode 1. Our final trivia bit is about the Dopefish. Some of you are like, what the hell is this thing? But this bucktooth fish was originally found in the Well of Wishes of Commander Keen Goodbye Galaxy, an early successful id Software side-scroller game that came before Doom and Wolfenstein. The Dopefish was originally drawn by Tom Hall, and it is extremely popular amongst fans of Commander Keen. It has become a joke amongst id Software, Apogee, and their developer friends to place it in their games as a cameo character, and it's usually hidden in some really deep secret within a map. In Quake, you actually get a hint of this when making your way to the secret nightmare selection portal in the introduction map. There's a tile on the wall with these stretched out faces, and if you shoot it, you get a message that says the Well of Wishes awaits. The Dopefish can also be found in Quake 2, Quake 3, Deus Ex Human Revolution, Duke Nukem 3D, Rage, Doom 2016, and Eternal, and many more games. It's such a cool legacy tradition that devs continue to carry on to this day. So, what makes E2M3, the Crypt of Decay, a great map? The multi-layered design, with the giant central tower acting as a central hub, means you're always figuring out where you are within this environment. All of these hallways and spaces lead to this central room, and it's just a wonderful looping path to the end. We also need to talk about the combat encounters. This map throws the Death Knight at you many times. It really starts to pressure the player in regards to managing their ammo. It's tempting to keep using your nail gun on it, but eventually you run into your first shambler on this map. And the ogres on the higher platforms, they're able to toss grenades at you while you're crossing the different bridges, and it creates this sense of pressure while moving across. Really, I think it's just like the sound of those grenades like bouncing next to you as you're trying to cross this bridge safely. But the last challenge at the final bridge through the tower at the very top goes hard. Though if you're an observant player, you probably will find the quad damage and it becomes much easier. But you get multiple Death Knights, multiple ogres, and even a shambler, all while this nail trap is constantly shooting nails down the path that you have to cross. On hard mode, there's 2 shamblers at the end. And finally, this map rewards players who dig around. The well-hidden secrets and the clever entrance to the secret level feel like awesome payoffs. It makes the whole discovery process super engaging and memorable. This map is just amazing level design that delivers an amazing player experience. John Romero totally nailed the atmosphere here, giving us this visually stunning castle that perfectly blends medieval gothic creepiness with seriously satisfying first-person shooter action. What are your thoughts on E2M3, the Crypt of Decay? Were you able to discover the Well of Wishes on your first run through it? And what did you think of the Death Knight the first time you encountered it? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, share it with friends, and subscribe for more great gaming content. And if you're looking for more, check out this recommended video right here. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.